Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to Prep Medic. In this week's video, we're doing a complete review of a brand new plate carrier by Qore Performance. So guys, like I just said, today we are reviewing the Qore Performance IcePlate Carrier Exoskeleton, the ICE. Now, little bit of a confusing name, especially because this company sells the IcePlate, so you're Googling IcePlate and you're coming up with all kinds of different things. But this is a highly functional plate carrier they have just come out with. It is made with a super lightweight laminate with a 600+ pound tensile strength, and it's basically designed to be the most minimalist, most functional plate carrier you can buy. So when you get this in the box, you pull it out, it doesn't feel like anything. It is super, super lightweight. And that's because it is completely laser cut. It has as much taken out of it as it can, and it's one of the strongest materials they could find for the least amount of weight. So you might think it's not that strong, but I can come up here to the pull handle and I can pull that as hard as I want and I will not get this to break. Same thing for any loop or anything on here. It's super lightweight, but I cannot break this no matter how hard I try. Now granted, I'm not the strongest person in the world, but I've kind of wrenched on this prior to doing this video and I can't get anything to budge. So really cool there. On the front, you have a complete loop field. So this can be used to put on any number of identification patches. So if you want to put one up here, this is kind of the standard area for it. But like I said, the entire thing is looped, so you can put as many identification patches on it as you want. Down here, you've got room for your clips for your placards that go on the front. This can fit these clips. It can also fit the G-hooks there. You can take these out pretty easily and install whatever you want. So in addition to that, if you just have something that requires a MOLLE loop, you can thread that through this laser cut webbing here. It secures it really great. It's actually pretty easy to put on, pretty easy to thread compared to some MOLLE, because all you have to do is take this plate out and you can access it from the backside. So kind of nice there. This plate carrier is designed to fit a medium ESAPI plate, which is the exact same size as their IcePlate. But it will also fit your standard 10x12 SAPI plates, which is what I have in here now. I've got a cheap pair of ceramic HESCO plates, and that's pretty standard for what you're issued on a federal level. So it fits both of those just fine, pretty snug on the inside. Now, on the bottom, that plate is secured by just a hook loop flap, and you can see the inside of this laminate's this black material. It's worth noting this is completely hydrophobic. You can dunk this in a lake, pull it out, and it will be dry almost instantly. It doesn't absorb anything, won't add weight to you there. Also won't absorb your sweat and other gross things as you're working out or doing your mission. So that's kind of nice. And the reason this is so minimalist down here is, one, it cuts back weight. Two, it allows for, if you're putting the IcePlate inside of it, it allows for the hoses to come out. You can run your hydration system. And then it also allows complete drainage. So like we said, it's hydrophobic. You dunk it in a lake, it's not going to keep water underneath it right next to you and drain as you go. So that's kind of a cool feature there. On the inside of this front and back plate, it's actually the exact same material as the front. So the entire thing is loop here, and I think they have some attachments coming out that will be utilizing this in the future. But right now what this can be used for is you can put on some of their ice vents, which we'll talk about in a second, help keep you cool, or other pads on the inside depending on what you want. So both the front and the back are like that. Right now functionality is a little bit limited with that, but it's a really cool feature I think down the road. So coming to the back of the plate carrier, you have the Cummerbund secured by hook and loop on the back of this. Now, this is both a blessing and a curse. The really good part of this is that this is super easy to adjust. So my wife and I have actually been sharing this for our workouts, and it's really easy. She can throw this on. I can just peel this back, resize it instantly, throw it on her, and she's good to go, and then vice versa. So it's really easy to do, as opposed to having to pull up a flap, readjust it, put down the flap, any of those things. That one to resize is kind of a pain because there's like a bungee cord you have to pull. This is very easy. Now the downside with this Cummerbund is that this actually takes up a lot of your loop field. So if you're carrying a lot of flashbangs or your radio pouch or anything on the back, there is room for that, but you can't do the entire thing. Now you can take their add-on to carry another IcePlate on the back, and that has a full MOLLE field on it, so you can get around it, but I've noticed it's just a little bit harder to secure. You kind of have to go around this flap. But that goes along with this being one of the most minimal plate carriers you can get. They don't want a lot of flaps because that adds weight and it reduces breathability. So just one of the features of this plate carrier. Now the Cummerbund itself is super cool. This is a minimalist Cummerbund, and it is completely elastic with a lot of stretch in it. So you can get this really close to your body. You're not trying to size nylon that doesn't stretch at all. You can still breathe in it. You're not gonna like stop breathing because you're trying to keep it close. But in this, you have two holders for magazines, some other accessories, and these are completely reversible. So they've got a flap of nylon that keeps things from falling out the bottom, and that's just sewed in the middle. So you can reverse it if you want it facing down or up. Now, this fits your standard AR mags very well. And because it's elastic, you can get by with doing a bunch of different kinds of magazines in here. As of now, they don't have any specific inserts for these, and because it's not on, it's a little bit hard to get in, but it fits your magazine just fine. The other really cool thing you can do with this, with the reversible portion of it, is you can actually use it to store your med kits. Now, not a standard med kit, but this plate carrier was actually developed with med mags in mind. SOAR Rescue, which is a super reputable rescue EMS company, they do a lot of training and then put out a lot of products to supplement that. These guys worked with Qore Performance to make this Cummerbund something that was a little bit more functional, because this doesn't have any MOLLE on it like my First Spear vest or my Safe Life vest. And usually I like mounting a med kit to the side. I don't like a ton in the front because that actually keeps you from getting prone, can hinder you there. I like to keep it off to the side. So with these med mags, these can actually be stored upside down in this Cummerbund. So you can put this upside down. It will not fall out, I can guarantee that. One of the owners of SOAR actually deploys in this vest, and he was telling me that they did a lot of rappelling and a lot of operations overseas in this with these med mags upside down and never had an issue. So these ones, you've got a couple different cool ones, and I'm going to do a complete video of these as the time comes, once I get a little bit more familiar with them. But this one's like their advanced airway. It's got everything for a cricothyrotomy. It has chest seals, MPAs, a ton of stuff in a very small package. You've got your first line, which is more of your standard IFAC. This has stuff for packing wounds, NPAs, chest seals, and then general trauma bandaging. So this can be kept upside down. I tried having these right side up in here, but I'll be honest, they kind of poke into your armpit there. So running these upside down is perfect. One of the other things this Cummerbund will hold is your radio very well. So I have a pretty standard Motorola radio, throw it in there, and then you can route the wires up through these shoulder pads, which we'll talk about in a second. One last feature of this Cummerbund is you have a quick release system. So it looks similar to the First Spear tube system, but the First Spear tube system actually comes up to release, and there's a little bit more movement on it. This is just a clip. So it is clipped in very quickly and easily. To remove it, you just pull this nylon string out and it pulls it right off. I haven't had an issue with it. I haven't personally done any strength tests with it, but it feels pretty substantial. I don't think it'll be any kind of issue for breaking, anything like that. Now, up to the shoulder pads. These are special and pretty unique to Qore Performance. So the shoulder pads, when it just comes out of the box, are a pretty small nylon strap that comes across, and they Velcro to each other. I'll show you here in a second. But what it also comes with is these ice vents. Now, these ice vents are something they came up with. It's basically rubber cells, and these absorb a lot of shock, but it's very, very minimal. There's not a whole lot of fabric there, and it keeps anything major off your skin. So you don't have this hot nylon there. It's very breathable, keeps breeze going through it. I think Shinobi from you're not supposed to know where he is, but he posted all the time. He uses these and he really likes them. I haven't used these on any extended operations yet, but just working out with this vest, I've noticed a huge difference with these shoulder pads. These are really cool because these can actually be taken off. You can get these separately and put them onto any plate carrier you want. I have a pair of these on my big, heavy, bulky entry vest, which I hate those entry vests. I've used them for a long time, and they are just super bulky and super hot, and I've actually noticed a lot of improvement with these ice vents on the top. They're secured with kind of standard Velcro wire ties up here, and you cut those to size. I cut them a little bit larger because you can actually use these to secure wires as well as tubing. Which brings me to the last section of the shoulder pads. If you pull this portion back, this is like a neoprene elastic sleeve. And you can use this once again to route your wires and everything like that. And that covers how you size these. So as you come into here, you can actually size the shoulder pad however you want. It's very, very adjustable. And one of the pieces of functionality this allows you to have is you can actually buy a second back panel for this, strap it onto here and run it adhered to the outside of this and put your ice plate in that, or put your armor in that and the ice plate on the one on the inside. And then you have your hydration system completely integrated into this plate carrier in basically the slimmest, lightest form factor you can get. So they do sell the back panel separately on its own, which is super cool and has a lot of functionality there. So like I said, you can then take the tubing from your hydration system, you can run it up here through that, and it keeps everything neat and organized for your mission and keeps it pretty minimalist. One of the cool things about this, with it being so minimal, is that you can really quickly remove the placard there, and you could wear this under a light jacket, other things, and it's a relatively concealed plate carrier when it comes to, you know, something in a non-permissive environment. This is going to be less likely to be noticed under a piece of clothing than, you know, your Banshee plate carrier or you know, First Spear, which are both great products, but this kind of offers that little bit more functionality in the covert realm. Just a couple other little tidbits on it. You've got these things here. This can be used to keep your radio. You just clip your radio onto that. You can also route tubes through it. And then basically it has anywhere fabric can be cut out, it has it cut out to reduce its weight as much as possible. As of filming this video, this is available in the coyote brown you see in front of you. It's also available in multicam, but looking at some of the pictures on their website, I'm guessing they run different iterations of colorways. So if there's something you're looking for, I bet you can email them and they might be able to tell you if they're looking at doing that in the future or not. It's available in one size. This cummerbund will fit up to a 40-inch waist. Now keep in mind that's waist, that's not hips. So at the waist, you're probably a little bit smaller than your pant size there. So this plate carrier is not only used in tactical environments. I originally got this prior to getting onto SORT as a vest I was going to use for SAR operations. And basically my plan with it is to take 2 ice plates, fill them with water, freeze them, throw them in this vest, and then use this as a chest rig. So I have my radio and everything there, and then I have 3 liters of fluid and cooling on my persons. You know, you see a lot of SAR guys, they've got their radio rig, their chest rig up front, but this offers you the same carrying capacity, if not more, than that chest rig, but it also combines your hydration system. And the nice thing is that as you drink the water, as it thaws and you drink it, this gets lighter and lighter and lighter until it weighs essentially nothing, because an empty ice plate and an empty plate carrier here don't weigh anything, but will still hold everything you need. So that's kind of a neat feature. So this could be used for trail running, SAR operations, tactical operations, obviously, any number of things. In preparation to do this review, they actually sent me a list of the variations you can use with this. And it's super extensive, you know, keeping the back plate out if you're driving, keeping the front plate ice plate only if you're driving and just need cooling. This is the list right here. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this vest depending on what your role is. I want to say a huge thank you to Qore Performance. They've been a great company to work with, as well as SOAR Rescue. So I'll be doing a video on these med mags in the near future here. But they have a really cool product here. If you're looking at picking this up or anything on their site, ice plates, hoses, anything like that, use the link down below. It'll support the channel, gives you a couple % off, helps support this, and allows me to get things like lights and more gear to review and backdrops and everything like that. So if you have any questions, guys, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you next week.